How's that, guys? Is that better? Is that better, everybody? Let me know if that's better, if you can hear me. You can hear me now? Okay, good. All right, sorry about that, guys. Sometimes I have to reset it. I don't know why. Awesome, though. Thank you for telling me. Appreciate that, everybody. But we are here. Again, make sure you put your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the live chat. I was just telling everybody, what's up, Robert? What's up, Za? What's up, Joshua Shields, Miss P, Daniel Warman, Robert Rhodes, Steelers626. Good to see you all in the chat early. What's up, John? Yeah, man, we're here. I don't want to talk about the quarterback thing again. I don't, but we will. We'll talk about it all. We'll talk a little bit about where we sit now as we start to inch closer to the draft when we're looking at players at different positions. You got the defensive line position, where the Steelers could go there, how that may all work out, how the quarterback situation could work out there, where you guys want people to be drafted in terms of position, what you want the Steelers to do with their draft picks and how they want to handle that, or how you would like them to handle that. I do want to bring up their actual picks because I forget them. I can't name them all off my head. Just the number of picks in 2025, exactly which round, which pick, and all that bullshit. It's a lot to remember sometimes. They don't got a terrible amount. They don't got a crazy amount of picks. They traded away their second round pick. 2026, they'll have an immense amount of picks. It seems like 4 compensatory picks. So that's something that definitely can be good for sure. Guys, I got to say something too, man. Everybody wants to talk about this quarterback position over and over and over. We got to put it to bed, honestly. And regardless of whether they go and get a veteran, whether they roll with Mason Rudolph, it is what it is. And to be real with you, it's not a catastrophic thing if Mason Rudolph is the guy. Everybody in that building loves Mason. Mason is definitely a welcomed addition to that locker room and the field. A lot of the guys have high hopes for him, man. And it is what it is, man. And I say no to the bullshit because I'm not subscribing to the egos. I'm not a big fan of it. So again, I'll leave that there. We can talk about whatever you guys want whenever you put it in the chat. We'll talk about whatever. And I'm not saying you don't or you can't talk about certain things. But the quarterback situation is what it is. And literally, it's really limited right now. You look at June 1, that'll be a time to when possibly you can perhaps maybe free some other people up. There could be some other available quarterbacks at that time. But as it sits right now, you're looking at old guys, maybe trade guys that you could possibly work out, but that would maybe be a disaster in my opinion. And literally, it just is what it is. It's just not going to change, guys. Even if Rodgers retires, which is what I am expecting, the media will keep talking about him. Yeah, Robert, I agree, man. He's the guy that's kept people in content for a week, over a week here. It's been nothing but Aaron Rodgers, man, over and over and over. And it is what it is. And if he does say that he's going to retire, then it'll be the watch of Aaron Rodgers. Is he going to unretire and come back and do what Tom Brady did? Tom Brady kind of said, but he didn't do what Aaron's doing right now. He didn't make anybody wait. He kind of beforehand, before free agency, was like, look, I think I'm done. And then like about 3-4 weeks later, he's like, you know what, I'm coming back. He didn't leave anybody hanging and cause any type of real issue. Guys, I don't understand what is up with Aaron Rodgers in terms of what's so hard about this decision. You hear some podcasters out there or people that talk about football every single day talking about it's his choice, you know. He's weighing the options. I don't know what options you're weighing at 41 years old. Do you either want to go try to win a championship to finish out your career? Do you want to try to do this thing one more time, or you don't? Point blank, period. And at this point of the offseason, you should have already figured that out. And again, it's just Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers. It's just Aaron Rodgers being an ego fucking maniac. It's just Aaron Rodgers out there. Everyone that wants to act like it was just some picture that somebody snuck. They were watching. It was Aaron trying to have a private moment. Don't think for 1 second that wasn't a staged up picture. Aaron Rodgers deep in thought on the beach in his blanket. Oh God, what a sweet soul. What a weirdo. What a fucking weirdo to do shit like that. That's who you want at the helm of your franchise? No thanks. I'm cool. Hit the no button, please. And is Omar Khan dumb enough to continue with the bullshit? That's the question that has to be asked. I wanted to look at. Okay, there we go. Round one, they do have the pick, the 21st overall pick. They traded number two, the round two pick, number 52 overall for one DK Metcalf, which is so crazy that DK Metcalf is a Pittsburgh Steeler, and that hasn't been the headline. That hasn't been the top story. How? How in the world has DK Metcalf making $150 million over 5 seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers not been the story? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Also, you have the round 3 pick. So you have the number 83 pick overall. So you have 21, 83. You have pick 121 in round 4. You have pick 162 overall. And you have pick 224, 230, and 246. Sorry, guys. I just like to write those down sometimes for reference when I'm just messing around here. So you have 162 via the Rams, 224 via the Saints, via the Falcons, and 230, 246 via the Washington Commanders. The Steelers' 5th round pick this year comes from Kevin Dotson being traded to the Rams. Meanwhile, their 6th round went to the Houston Texans when they received the Kendrick Green trade in 2023. However, Pittsburgh has 3 7th-round picks coming from New Orleans, Atlanta, and Washington, and that could be hugely beneficial because you can find some late talent there, guys. There's many players that have been found in the 7th round, and that was always a big thing for Kevin Colbert, back in the day. Not to trade away those late round picks because there's extreme value in them sometimes. You know what I mean? Here's a 2025. Oh, we don't want to do that. Sorry. But that's always been something. You look at some of the players that have come through, over the years that have been late round picks, man. It's definitely been some good talent. What's up, Mark? Let's get back into the chat. Steve Winters, what's up, Fairs? We're not doing that. Steve Winters, what's up, Jason? It's always a pleasure, my friend. I hope you're feeling better today. Looking forward to the NFL draft coming up. Cannot wait. Let's go, black and gold. I'm looking forward. I am feeling better today, man. It's been a rough few days, though. Whew. But hey, you got to do it. Zachary, I believe in the red-nosed reindeer. I think the hashtags with people like Rogers might bring in more views. I could be wrong, just speculation. Hope you're having a great day so far, JJ. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm sure because he's been the trending topic. So, yeah, the hashtag does bring in probably a little bit more views. Patty, even if they get Rogers, I would still start Mason. That wouldn't happen, Patty. That wouldn't happen. Sadly, it would not happen in any way, shape, or form. And maybe, yeah, you would, but the Steelers won't. And, yeah, that's something that's just not going to happen. John says, I would roll with Mason, draft J.K. Jefferson out of UCF in a late round. Mark Malone, it'd be funnier than a mofo if I waited as long as possible, then retired. Total dick move. Amen, man. And he might do that, However, the Steelers got to just go with a contingency plan here. And I think that might be a fatal flaw of Omar Khan. I think Omar Khan's done a really, really good job this offseason so far. And I think he's done a good job so far as the general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Some people might not believe that. I believe it to be true. But I think one fatal flaw with Omar is sometimes he puts far too much into one position or one player. And sometimes that can bind him up a little bit. I think that when you're looking for a particular position inside of free agency via trade, things like that, you really got to have, a bunch of plans put in place. You really have to have several roads that you can travel there. And I think sometimes, like we saw last year with the wide receiver position, that was a problem. That there weren't many avenues to go down. That everything was put into Brandon Ayuk, and that was just what they were waiting on. And if that fell through, nothing else mattered. You're going to settle for a guy like Mike Williams, who had a big play, wasn't used, but still, that's what their plan was. Daniel Warman, that must be a Green Bay thing. Favre did the same thing. Yeah, two assholes, if you ask me, Aaron and Brett. Mark Maloney secretly hates Tomlin. Well, I could see how somebody could come to that conclusion. Rudolph is going to be rocking it with GP and DK. I think so. Robert Rhodes, I guess because it's very dependent position, I'm excited to watch DK. Yeah, it is a dependent position. You got to have somebody that can sling the football. But man, why are so many fans just overlooking Mason fucking Rudolph? Like this guy can't play. Like he's just some scrub or something. Like he can't sling the ball all over the field at a high level. Let's be honest, guys. Mason Rudolph is not a bad quarterback. Quit believing that 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers is a better option, because I don't think it to be true. I think if I'm going to pick a guy, it's Mason. He's younger. He's talented. He's never been given a real opportunity. He's cheap. He allows you to execute the plan of swinging for the fences in terms of bringing in young talent while you have Mason driving a ship. Why not? Why would you spend an enormous amount of money on Aaron Rodgers, limiting yourself on the players that you can build into this roster for when you do get a young guy? And don't think for one fucking second that Aaron Rodgers is going to mentor anybody, dude. Don't think for 1 second that that's going to be the case. These guys aren't interested in being mentors, man. Some of them may. 95% of them, they don't give a shit, dude. Why do they want to mentor somebody coming to take their job? I never understood why people expect, like Ben, oh, he should have been better to Mason. For what? What did he benefit from that for? He benefited in no way from that. Like he was going to do that. Like he was going to give effort to do that. He could be cool to the dude, but he ain't going to fucking go out of his way and break his back. All right, guys, I need a drink. But in the meantime, double tap that screen. Hit that like button for us. Send us out into that YouTube algorithm. Daniel Warman says, I think the biggest mistake was signing Wilson and Fields last year. However, who knew at the time? I don't think it was a huge mistake because they kind of did what they had to do to reset that quarterback room. So I thought that it was a good thing because they got literally both for basically a handful of pocket lands. So I always say that to be true. They basically got that quarterback room for absolutely nothing last year. And they had Wilson, Fields, and Kyle Allen in there. And again, guys, they paid literally nothing for it. But the biggest thing that came out of last year was an absolute reset in a disastrous quarterback room. The only bright spot in that room was Mason Rudolph. And now you have him back after a year of being out from the organization, whether that be because of a necessity or what that he's back. That's neither here nor there. It's come full circle. And again, the only bright spot that you had in that room was Mason Rudolph, and you brought him back in, and now you've reset that room again. So now, here you go. You got opportunities in the 2025 draft to take somebody, and you're going to have an amazing amount of opportunities in 2026 to take somebody. So definitely, it was for the best. So I don't think it was a mistake, but I don't think it was the best options in the world. You had tremendous upside with Fields, but you didn't give him a chance to do that because you didn't want to give a 4th-round pick away. Okay, so be it. And they extended an offer to Justin. Justin went for the money, and there's nothing you can do about that. We can't blame him. He chose a subpar franchise in terms of how they run things for money. And you've seen players do that in the past. So that's no big deal. It happened. But for what it is right now, I think they're in a good position. And I know a lot of fans out there may say that this isn't a good position to be in. But if you're thinking long-term and you're thinking long-term success of the franchise, I think it's an amazing position to be in. Downtown John Broadway. I'm more happy that Cam Hayward stood up and stated the facts and without all the rigmarole, tossed salad, added croutons, and all the other accrements of bullshit. Tom Wishel, what about trading back with the Saints for 21 to get 41 and 50? I mean, is it a bad idea, Tom? No. But the Steelers need some D-line help. And honestly, you're probably going to there's probably 5 or 6 really good guys at the defensive line position. I think Kenneth Grant's probably that guy that you're looking for to be that run stuffer, true nose. Is he going to be available at 21? Probably not. Maybe, though. But honestly, it's just really something that they have to get. And I truly believe that the first round pick is going to be somebody along that defensive front. That's what I think. And I think you got to be really stout there, man. I think that they really have to improve their depth and things of that nature. You see they signed another guy today, another journeyman type guy so far in the NFL, guy that's been tossed around a little bit here. Started a couple games last year with the Jags. I can't even think of his name off the top of my head. But they're signing a guy every other day or every few days. They're signing somebody to that defensive line room. So I think they really mean business in terms of trying to find real solid depth and key rotational pieces. So I think they try to find that true nose, that true run stuffer to go along with Cam and Keanu. I think that to be true. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be really dependent on how this draft unfolds early, guys. You know how this all happens. There's going to be there's runs on players because teams panic. Teams panic that their guy isn't going to be there or their position is not going to be there because they draft for positional need. They don't draft best player available. That's not the MO of 99.9% of these teams. They draft for positional need. So what? That's why you see the runs on certain players inside of the NFL draft. And again, guys, I may be wrong. Drafting for position may be the way to go. But I don't think so. I think drafting best player available on the board at the time is the only way to go in my eyes. But if you need a position, you get tunnel vision, man. And once they start coming off the board, you see a run of them. And that's what I think you'll see with the quarterback position. That's what I think. Once you get through those top 2 or 3 real elite talents that everybody really is clamoring for, you'll start to see big runs on certain positions. But I don't know about trading back. 21's a tough place to be, man. But it's a good place and a tough place, you know. So I don't think it's wrong to trade back. But then again, I'm not 1,000% sold that it's the best choice either. Robert Road, extra 7th rounders are often cheaper than undrafted free agents because there is no bidding war to sign them. Absolutely. Robert D'Angelo, why draft EK with no quarterback? They didn't draft him, Robert. They traded for him. And why not draft EK? I don't get when fans say, why get this player with no quarterback? Or why get this guy when you don't have this position or that position? Because you have to build a team. You have to build the best team that you can possibly build. And what is easier for a quarterback to step into? A wide receiver room that's filled with immense amounts of talent, or a wide receiver room that, we didn't have a quarterback at the time. We could have got DK Metcalf, but, we passed on him because, we didn't have, the best quarterback in the world at the time. And, we just didn't want to do it. That don't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, guys. You build and take the best players you can get at all costs, at any time. That's how you build good rosters. You don't miss on a guy because you don't have a certain position. That don't make no sense. And they did that last year. They didn't go get the wide receiver right away or attempt to make big swings at it because they were kind of fearful about their quarterback situation initially. Then Brandon Ayuk saga started happening. Then they had ended up getting Russell Wilson. They ended up getting Justin Fields. The quarterback room flipped. So it was a little bit different. So why not just go out, build your team, and let the pieces fall into place, man? TJ Black, I feel Omar is being held back by Tomlin. I don't. I think Omar makes decisions. I don't think Tomlin dictates a lot of what Omar does. I believe he has input, but I believe Omar Khan is his own man. I don't feel that Tomlin's holding him back. But I may be wrong, too. You may be right. Yeah, I agree, Robert, there. They need to play Mason, let him play this year, and draft a quarterback. And honestly, when your first comment, when you said why trade for DK when you had no quarterback, you do have a quarterback that can get him the football. His name's Mason Rudolph, and he can do it at a very exceptional level. Don't get that twisted. This is the most optimistic offseason in years, depending on what the Steelers do in the draft, which is usually pretty well. And we will be cooking with peanut oil, and the quarterback will be hotter than fish grease. Wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh. I agree. Mason gives you opportunities. I'm an advocate right now for Mason Rudolph to be the starter of 2025 season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But however, if Mason is that guy, you have to draft somebody. You can't not draft somebody. You have to draft somebody, and not just anybody. It has to be somebody that has a little bit of oomph, somebody that you got a little faith in. Seems like upper management doesn't take Rudolph seriously enough to start. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, they had their best quarterback at the time on the roster as the third string guy behind Mitch and Kenny. So, yeah, maybe. What's up, TD? I wanted to thank TD and Miss Pittsburgh for being Mic Drop Mafia members for 12 months. That popped up for me. They've basically been in there since the beginning of the membership. So, again, guys, thank you so much. It's not always about what you get out of the membership. It's more of a way that you're just supporting the work and supporting the channel. So definitely we will do some more giveaways and shit again. But that costs money, and we got to get it done and move forward. But we do plan on doing the TJ Watt signed jersey giveaway that we have. It's right down here. But we do plan on doing that once we hit 10,000 subscribers. So that's something to look forward to. So, yeah, we're going to do some things, but definitely thank you to TD. Thank you to Miss Pittsburgh. It just popped up there, guys. So I'm not picking them out of a hat. Sometimes YouTube will pop it up and say, congratulations to so-and-so for being a member for so many months. So I just announce them when they do. Downtown says Mason Rudolph is still fresh and has more knowledge, and why not give him the earned chance? Jeez, Tomlin, stop being a jag-off. Roberta Campbell, good evening, Jason, Miss Pittsburgh, and everyone else. Patty, all this Rodgers BS makes us all need a drink. Hey, man, it definitely does. I firmly believe Rudolph can ball out with DK and PG, or George Pickens. But we need to build the trenches and get better run game, a better run game, and he can do well. But we need Super Bowls, and we need our 7th Lucky Lombardi. Yeah, I'd like to have that 2nd Lucky Lombardi. Guys, I know a lot of you out there continue to think that the Steelers have failed at the offensive line. And I can see why you say it, but you got to dig a little bit deeper, guys. And I keep trying to remind everybody of this. The Steelers are in an excellent spot along that offensive line. They are. They have a large amount of super young, gifted talent. Year 2 for Broderick Jones was a fluke. I'm sorry. I'm going to stand behind that until he proves otherwise and has yet another bad year. If he does, then I'm wrong. But year 2 was a fluke. Broderick needed to work on his footwork. Broderick needed to work on his technique a little bit. Year 1, he relied a lot on brute strength, and he was the man over there. You didn't have a lot of issues over there with Broderick Jones on the right side. But you're getting your wish. He's moving back over to the left side, which I don't think is an issue, but maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. But I don't think it's an issue whether they play right or left. But anyway, it is what it is. I know what people will say, natural side, natural this, whatever. I don't know. I think that's more manufactured by the media than it is anything else. But I I think Roger Jones will do really, really well in 2025. I do. Nick, Steelers fans hate being in the spotlight. Welcome to the club. DK is a drama queen. DK is not a drama queen. How many big issues have you heard out of DK Metcalf? I could say I've heard of a lot of issues out of CD Lamb in Dallas already. I could say far more than I've ever heard about DK Metcalf. Just saying. And I'm not defending DK just because he's a Pittsburgh Steeler. Not at all. He hasn't played one snap for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'd have said that last summer when I thought that he was coming to the city of Pittsburgh. I told Sean that I thought that that was the deal that was going to get done. And it fell apart. I think it was in the works, but it fell apart. That's okay. It is what it is. He's here now in 2025. Bill Belichick and Brady have a permanent voodoo hex on the Steelers to not surpass them in champions. That's from Zah. Gully Boy, the Steelers have the crash out brothers. As long as you have Jerry Jones, the Cowboys are cooked. Sleeping lady in the house. I hope we play Patriots in Dublin. That game will be a pit home game essentially, but we are supposed to play Patriots away this year. NFL should give us that after the hellish schedule last season. I'd like the Steelers to have a little bit easier schedule, no doubt. But let's face it, guys, this is the NFL. No week is a cakewalk. I know a lot of people were like, oh, man, last year's schedule was the gauntlet. And I said that too. But we got to face the facts. Every team in the NFL was really good. It's just the way it is. I thought we played them the year before, Devin. Purdy to the Steelers. I don't think that's going to happen, man. That's just another clickbait trade bullshit. These people are coming up with all these hypothetical fucking trades. And all they're doing it for is to get you to click on their stuff, man, so they can make money off of you. It's not going to happen. I hate to say it, dude. I know a lot of you believe in some of this shit, but it ain't going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. Honestly, if I felt like it had any traction, I'd be reporting it to you. Honestly, I pay attention to these things, and I feel like things that have real traction, I report to you. Jameis Winston to the Steelers. I'm trying to eat some W's. I don't know, man. If you had to, you had to. Man, I think they're building it as right as they can. Yeah, I think they're on the right path. I know a lot of people don't think so. Roberta says, I actually think Fields also left because he didn't trust what would happen staying with the Steelers. Fields, though, Roberta, didn't earn the opportunity to dictate whether he was the starter or not. He just didn't. He hadn't played well enough. And I never appreciate a player that shies away from competition. And I think that's all the Steelers were telling him, or telling anybody, is, look, we're going to put as many good people in that room as we can, and we are going to have competition there. And I think that's all that they were saying. I don't think that they were necessarily just wanting to anoint somebody. I think you become complacent when you don't have to have any type of competition behind you. That's what I think, some of these players go wrong with. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get through some of your chats here. I am pretty sure the Steelers will play Green Bay when they are in Dublin. That's from Robert. Hey, May, I don't know who they'll play, man. I don't pay attention too much to the schedule stuff. I really don't. I wait till it's officially out. Then we know. That's how I roll with it. I don't play too much into it just because I don't know. I've just never been interested in it, I don't think. Orlando Clem, do you think the Steelers can make it to the Super Bowl? I mean, anything's possible, but sure. I mean, if you do, that's awesome. Carl Port, you think we trade Pickens to move up in the draft? Do I think it's a possibility? Yes. Do I think that it's necessarily a slam dunk? No. But, again, it's not out of the realm of possibility, and it does provide you options in the second round probably. And honestly, guys, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble with DK. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a second round pick for George Pickens, guys. DK Metcalf went for a second round pick. I mean, and George Pickens isn't DK Metcalf. He's not done as much in this league as DK Metcalf has done. And trust me, that will come into play. And I don't want you guys to forget that. And that's why I don't know if George brings in a round 2 pick. It's not a slam dunk that he does. Is it a possibility? Absolutely. But it's not a slam dunk that he does. Nah, I'm good on that Weird Productions. I don't want Joe Flacco either. Craig Werlow, I would trade back in the first round so you can get second and draft Tyler Shuck if he is there when we draft second or third. Yeah, I think there's a possibility that he's there in the third. Possibility. Maybe not, though. There's a chance. It's a quarterback-hungry league, guys. That's the thing. Trading back, you may be able to get that second-round pick. Maybe. It's a possibility. You just got to see how the draft unfolds, too, guys. Teams that have particular needs, are they going to get desperate? That's why I say all these proposed draft day trades and all this craziness that these people put out there, none of them have any meat to them. None of them. They're all guesses. And everything about the draft is all a lottery, man. You have to see how it starts to unfold. You have to allow the draft to come to you as a general manager. Then you start to make your decisions. You start to see teams get desperate. You start to see teams start to panic when position groupings that they desperately want are starting to come off the board. That's how you start to play the draft to your advantage. That's when you take advantage of other teams. And good general managers watch how that draft unfolds. They have a little notebook sitting in front of them, and they have everything written down. Every team that is on that board, they have all their needs written down. Believe that. Well, good general manager would. They would have every team's needs, and they would start to see who's behind me, who's in front of me. What does that team need? What don't they need? What could they part with? What would they want from me? What perhaps do I have in terms of value? I have picked 2183, 121, 160. Are people going to be able to do anything? I only have a handful of 7th round picks to really give away anything. I don't really have a lot of flexibility in the first 3 rounds because here I am. I only have 21, 83, and 121. You have 162, but you're starting to be limited there. You've already given away a high-value draft pick. You don't want to give away your first, That would have to be an exceptional player. There's just so many things that come into play with this, guys. Yeah, Mark says it right there. Someone can fall unexpectedly. There's just so many twists and turns. And I know you want answers, guys. I know fans want answers. And they want people that talk football like this show. You want me to be able to say to you, the Steelers will do this, and the Steelers are going to do that. No one can give you that definitive answer. I don't care if it's a channel that has 70,000 subscribers. Their Steeler channel, they have access to the locker room. They're interviewing players. They can't tell you either. Nobody can. The draft is a lottery, guys. It's a lottery. And again, you have to see how it starts to unfold. How do those first 15 picks go? That's going to tell you a lot, How does that first 15 picks go? And what's going to be left? Are you worried, hey, man, I really like Kenneth Grant, but I think he might go at 19. Should I bump up a couple picks and maybe give away a 4th rounder and swap first rounders? Would that be worth it? That could possibly be it. Hey, I've picked 121. Hey, I'm worried about Kenneth Grant. I want Kenneth Grant from Michigan. I think he would be a real run stuffer nose tackle. But you know what? I think somebody going to gobble him up here right before us. I need to leapfrog this team that's right in front of us because I have written down here their positional need is also a defensive lineman. Then you got to also take into consideration a lot of good teams that are picking farther back in the draft. They take defensive linemen out of luxury. They take offensive linemen out of luxury. Not out of need, because they're already good. They're just taking luxury picks. So they might gobble up your player. It's just amazing, guys, how different this can all go. Craig Werlo, we did that. Vikings need a sticky Lombardi, laughing my ass off. The Steelers have 6. Yeah, the Steelers do have 6. I love it. Joe Flacco headed to the Vikings. Oh, there you go, man. Enjoy that. What's the running back looking like? Laughing my ass off from Weird Productions. You have a good running back and Jaylen Warren. You got an exceptional running back from the Philadelphia Eagles that I think can contribute. And I think that you're going to dip inside of the draft somewhere in a very deep running back class. Junkins from Ohio State. The kid from out of North Carolina, Genty. There's 2 running backs at Ohio State. All these names that are just flying around. Definitely could be targets, man. And then you're looking at the Steelers at 21. You have Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. Who else? Where are we at? Defensive tackle Mason Graham out of Michigan. Who else? Kenneth Grant, like I was talking about. He's 331, guys. 6'4". Big dude. Love it, man. I love it. Then you got Derek Harmon out of Oregon. He's an option. He's somebody that could be going, inside of this draft very quickly. There's many players, man. Many players. Jack Sawyer, Princely, however you say his name, the guy out of Ole Miss. There's so many players, man. The list is crazy here for defensive linemen, from defensive ends, defensive tackles, nose tackles, whatever. There's so many players, man. So many players. Let's look at them running backs real quick, too. And I want to just see the top 3 that are ranked. You got Ashton Genty, Amarion Hampton out of North Carolina. That's who I was talking about. What about Caleb Johnson? He's a guy that could be definitely somebody that could be on the books for somebody early in this draft. Again, you're looking at Henderson and Sampson out of Tennessee. Judkins, I love the way he played. Out of Ohio State, Devin Neal out of Kansas, Cam Scattaboo out of Arizona would be a welcomed addition to the Steelers. There's so many players. Jordan James out of Oregon. So many players there, guys. So many players. And again, anybody could really jump off the board quickly. And then you look at this quarterback room, this quarterback draft. You got Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart. That seems to be your top 3 here. Those players, I think, all are gone before 21. But you got Quinn Ewers, you got Jalen Milroe, you got Will Howard, you got Kyle McCord, Dylan Gabriel, Riley Leonard, Curtis Rourke, Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck is rated 11th right now. I mean, come on. I think Tyler Shuck could be there when you pick at 83. You never know. There's so much that could go on, guys. Let's just see if they predict where they are. See, a lot of scouts now, all scouts are averaging Jackson Dart to be gone by pick 5. That's what this board says. And I just brought up a random board. There was nothing in there that I was specifically looking up. So just to say a few things there, guys. Yeah, I don't know if 2025 is going to be the time they win much in the postseason. It may be, it may not be. I think it's going to be a real crapshoot. I think they're going to have a good roster. Yeah, Tomlin does like his veterans, Jacob, and sometimes it is hard for rookies to get onto the field with Tomlin. It's definitely Tomlin's got to change, and that has to be the facts. Tomlin has to really start to change a little bit. He's got to start being a little bit more open to doing some things a little differently. Perla needs some O-line help, needs some D-line help, a quarterback for sure. I don't know about the O-line so much. Or could they take somebody? Guys, you're not getting a quality tackle out of this draft, in my opinion. I feel like they all got T-Rex arms. I mean, I just don't see a tackle that I'm in love with in this draft. You drafted a first-round tackle you know, and Broderick Jones. You drafted a first round tackle and Fatanu. You got a first round talent in the second round with Zach Frazier. You hit a home run with Mason McCormick, a guy that wasn't expected to see the field at all his rookie season, thrusted into the starting position. Perhaps though you go and get one of these guard or these tackles that are rated very high, and you move them into guard and lose Isaac Seumalo and move a short-armed guy inside to that guard position, and then take that offensive line as a whole and have your oldest guy being Broderick Jones going into year 3. Wouldn't that be exciting for you as a fan to know that your offensive line, the oldest guy that's starting across that offensive line, is a year 3 player in Broderick Jones? He's the veteran. He's the leader. Hey, I'm just saying. But yet you got tremendous starting reps from Zach Frazier, Mason McCormick, Troy Fatanu, up-and-comer, had a lot of potential there before he went down. What's up, 2 Evil, 2 Hope, Jonathan Stevens, stick with the Rudolph and draft a guy 100. Keep GP unless he wants to go draft defensive tackle, quarterback, then running back. That's from Jonathan Stevens. Where we at? Like and subscribe, everyone. Absolutely, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Steelers only need Tomlin and Pickett. Yeah, if only Pickett would have just been the savior of Pittsburgh. Maybe they trade with Cleveland and give him, Pickett 280 million fully guaranteed over 7 years or some shit. Who knows? Whatever. Give Pickett a lifetime contract. He deserves it. Kitten mittens, baby. Crowdport. Tomlin is defense oriented, and I don't think he has much input on the offense. I think that's not true. Crowdport. Is he defensive minded? That part, yes, is true. However, Mike Tomlin is a micromanager, and that's not been made up by Jason. That's been talked about. Mike Tomlin does have input on that offense. Absolutely. That's not to say, it's crazy input, but he has marching orders for that offense, and that is that. You're going to be conservative. You're not going to turn the ball over. You're going to be a run-first ball team no matter what. And when you sometimes don't have the personnel to do that, Mikey needs to adjust. Everybody wants to make an excuse for Mike Tomlin, and I get it, man. And it's blasphemy to talk shit on Mike Tomlin here sometimes. 2 Evil, 2 Hope. Has the name changed to the Pittsburgh Mike Tomlins? I think it should. I think it should be. Tomlin's boys on the side of the helmet. I think that's what it should say. I demand it too. Hashtag change the name, man. Hashtag change the Steelers name. I think it's offensive. I think the Steelers name is offensive. I think they need to change it. Isn't that all you got to say in this country is, I'm offended. I'm offended. And you get your way, right? Isn't that all you got to do? Is that all you got to do? I'm just saying. Seems to be that way. It doesn't align with my views. I'm offended. This is the world we live in. All right, guys, double tap the shit out of that screen. Thank you for that super chat, 2 Evil, 2 Hope. As always, man, much appreciated. Super chats are always open, guys. That get your comment read right away. Unless I'm just going through and picking random ones and reading them. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's the topic of conversation here. So double tap that screen, hit that like button, share the show, send us out to that YouTube algorithm. And as always, man, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for if you're not subscribed to us here at Mike Drop Sports. It's a place to be, in my opinion. So definitely, sorry guys, I had somebody come to my front door. I was just looking. I'm nosy. Wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh. So what player do we need? You need a run-stuffing nose tackle, man. I think that has to be something that is definitely emphasized. And I think you need to get a quarterback and a running back. I think you address the quarterback situation. Slay's older, but I'll give him that. I think he probably has a year or two left in the tank. So we'll roll with that and hope for the best. So I think cornerback has been addressed with Slay and Eccles. I think Slay will force a lot to Joey Porter's side, and I think Joey Porter is a tremendous talent, and I think he'll get better again in year 3. So I'm excited to see what Joey Porter can do, especially playing across from an all-pro like Darius Slay. So I'm definitely cool with that. I'm cool with Eccles. I'm cool with just what the Steelers have done so far this offseason. I think they've filled a lot of gaps. But again, I really would love to see a real young run stuffer up front in the defensive line. That's what I'd really like to see. And I'd really like to see them get Tyler Shuck in round 3 if that's possible, or Jackson Dart in round 1 if that's possible. Somewhere, anywhere. I would also like to see them add one more veteran wide receiver or a young, talented wide receiver. They've been rumored to be talking to several of these young wide receivers. Ibuke, tons of them, man. Tons of big names that you would all love. There's a kid from Tennessee that had very limited targets that I was talking to Robert Road earlier about, actually. But I would like to see him get a chance. Maybe perhaps you can get him really late because he only had 26 catches. I believe last year when we were talking, that's what I think Robert had said his stat was. So, yeah, maybe you're able to get a big guy like that has some tremendous upside. You get a little bit later, coming in, filling in that 5th wide receiver role. Maybe perhaps you still have George Pickens. Maybe perhaps George Pickens is more of a guy that you want to hold on to. And if you're not doing well, you dangle at the trade deadline and get rid of him and get tremendous value for him. For a team that wants to take a run at a Super Bowl and is missing a wide receiver piece. Maybe that's how that works. Maybe it's not a draft day trade to where you get something now, but maybe looking ahead into 2026, you take a trade deadline trade for George Pickens and you get enormous return on him because of the desperate nature teams are in sometimes when they're trying to make a big time playoff run inside of the NFL playoffs. These are all things that could happen. That's what I mean, guys. This is all this stuff we've brought up tonight so far. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing's going to go the way that you think it's going to go. There's always going to be a twist or a turn, an injury. There's different needs here, different needs. There will be the needs now for the Pittsburgh Steelers typically change by the time the trade deadline's here. Typically change by the time they're in Latrobe, even just after you did the draft. Why? Injuries, things of that nature. Everything happens, man, when you least expect it. If you could add any player from any team except Mahomes, would you pick right now? Who would I pick right now? Any team from any player from any team except for Mahomes. I take Justin Herbert. And I say that why is because I think he's really fucking good, and I think he could be really amazing in the city of Pittsburgh. Larson 3000, what the hell are the Packers going to do? They got Jordan Love. I don't know. Hard to tell. Jonathan Stevens, when did we become sauerkraut? We don't have a quarterback. I'm offended. Yeah, I know. I don't know when the Steelers quit being the Steelers. Eagles for life. Eagles own Pennsylvania. Well, they do for right now. That'll change, though. Paul LaBelle. Rodgers is a jag-off fact. He is. JJ, the Steelers need to get rid of mediocre-ass players on the team like Holcomb and Loudermilk. The Steelers got the worst offensive coordinator in the NFL. I think both comments are a little bit untrue. I don't think Arthur Smith's the worst offensive coordinator in the NFL. Excuse me, guys. Bad hair day. Knock my hat off. But it is what it is. I think Loudermilk, Holcomb had a significant injury, man. He was ready to come back, but he's playing really, really fucking well before that injury. So I think he was a starter, you know. Everybody was raving about Holcomb and Quan Alexander, the job they were doing together, you know. Now all of a sudden, because he had an injury and it's taken a little bit of time to get back, you know, now he's a scrub, you know. I just think we got to really think before we say some stuff here. JJ, Roman Wilson is a bust. The guy had one season, man. He got injured. He had some shit going on. It is what it is. The guy literally had one season. You can't call him a bust yet. You just can't. That's the fans, man. That's what fans do. Instant gratification. If it's not instant, then They don't want to hear it. They want instant results, and that's not how this game works, guys. Football, yes, sometimes you hit lightning in a bottle, absolutely. But typically, how this game works is you have to build a team. You have to figure things out. Time has to be your friend, man. You have to enjoy the painful road that's traveled in order to reach the mountaintop. That's the game of football. That's the game. And a lot of fans don't know that, especially this younger generation of fans. They don't understand what it takes to be a champion, that it's just not something that happens overnight. No, third round pick shouldn't be an instant impact. That's crazy, Jay. You got to think before you talk, buddy. You're just trying to, I know what you're doing. You're just trying to get me like fired up. But I'm just trying to tell you, man, you got to be real about it. No draft pick should have to be an instant impact. Why? Because every draft pick in the NFL is an absolute gamble, an absolute lottery pick. And that's from pick 1 to pick whatever the last pick is, 299, something like that. I don't even know what the hell. But that is the truth. And I know fans don't want to hear that, but it is the truth. What's up, Tom Ford? Minka, I believe he's staying. But I think you need to see Minka put back in more of a Minka role. And I think why he wasn't in that Minka role last year and why he was in more of the center fielder type situation most of the time was because the year prior, he just sustained tremendous amounts of injuries. It was constant for Minka. He had just a really injury-plagued year. And I think the Steelers were really trying to preserve him by letting him play center field a lot and allowing him to just hang back and be a guy roaming around. But we got to look at Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's an excellent tackler. When he is involved in the action, he's a real game breaker. And I would like to see more of that. And if you're not going to trade Minkah Fitzpatrick, you're not going to turn him into any type of value in terms of draft capital, you got to allow him to be involved in the game. You're paying him almost $20 million a year. You have to allow him to be incorporated into that defense and allow him to be a contributor. You just can't put Minkah back there in center field and allow him just to hang out. That's not what Minkah needs to be doing. If you're going to use Minkah Fitzpatrick at his true best, you got to have him roaming down near the box. You got to have him down in the action. You got to have him down there where he can make things happen. And that was the mistake the Pittsburgh Steelers made with Minkah Fitzpatrick last year. And let's just face it, Mike Tomlin and that defense, and yes, it's Mike Tomlin's defense. It's not Teryl Austin's defense. Regardless of some of you Tomlin apologists want to say, it's not Teryl Austin's defense. It is Mike Tomlin's defense, and it was schematically unsound and horribly uncreative. Point blank, period. And that wasn't just at any particular time of the year. It was from fucking down one to the last time they played a snap. Point blank. That's the truth. They lack creativity and literally have really, really good players that they refuse to do anything with. And you say, why do they do that? They're afraid to make mistakes. Mike Tomlin knows that his team can't afford to make any mistakes because when they do, they can't play from behind. They can't play in shootouts. They lack creativity and schematics aren't their friend. That's the truth. I mean, I get it, Jay, but he played really, really well. People get injured, man. It's the NFL. Too Evil, Too Hope. Tomlin has never had the time to build a defense. Yeah, 18 years just isn't enough. He probably needs about 10 more, Too Evil. JJ, the Steelers can draft a linebacker and kept a Landon Roberts over Cole Holcomb. I love a Landon Roberts, so I'm not going to argue about keeping a Landon Roberts. I'd have loved to keep a Landon Roberts. That's something I'll never argue about. I thought he was a great player, and I think he provided a lot for that Steelers defense and a lot of big plays, a lot of big energy, man, and I love the way he played. But you got to look at what today's NFL is. And you got to understand the game of the NFL currently as it sits in 2025. And that is you have to have speedier, faster, more coverage oriented linebackers in the middle. And I understand you want a run thumper here and there, but man, guys in the middle linebacker position got to be guys that can cover in the pass game. And that has to be something that is of utmost priority for them, because you're not going to be able to control high flying, pass oriented offenses at the NFL level without it. So, that's why you can see sometimes maybe a guy like Landon Roberts getting passed over for maybe a guy like Cole Holcomb or somebody else, because you're looking for that quicker, that more pass coverage oriented middle linebacker, and that's the truth, man. Mark Malone, it got their anuses reamed to the tune of 300 yards on the ground in the playoffs. Absolutely, I get it, no doubt. Hey, man, I feel like Mike Tomlin needs to go. Me too, Kodak. You ain't telling me nothing. Tom Ford, what do you mean two evil Tomlin's at it? He's joking, Tom. He's joking, Tom. He always is joking about it. He always is fired it up, joking about Tomlin and Pickett. Like this one, 2 evil 2. Maybe Tomlin's scheme is so advanced, even his own team doesn't know what to do. Yeah, maybe maybe Tomlin is light years ahead. Hey, good night, downtown Joel Broadway. Yeah. Za laughing, 2 evil 2. Good night, man. We did that. What's favoritism, JJ? What's favorite? I don't understand the favoritism shit. I don't. Who's getting favoritism? I'm not sure who you're talking about. You got to specify, man. Let me guess. I can already guess what you're going to say. I already know what you're going to say without you even saying it. Yeah, he's playing for 2035, man. He's ready to play the first NFL game on Mars. All right, guys, double tap that screen. Hit that like button for us. What do you mean? I already know. You got to tell me. I'm guessing what I think you're going to say. I think I know what you're going to say. Go ahead, though. Say it. We don't shy away from any conversation. Draft Jalen Milroe, 2nd round. I would not go near Jalen Milroe unless it was like a 7th round pick. That's just my opinion. I think he's not going to be good at the NFL level, guys. Get a vet like Kirk and see what happens through 6 weeks. Just to see through 6 weeks what happens and get Kirk. Kodak, I love you, man. I love you. I love you. I'm not trying to dog you. But you don't trade for a guy that has $100 million fully guaranteed on his contract that you're going to have to give tremendous amounts of draft capital for just to have an experiment for 6 weeks. Be honest, dude. Come on now. I appreciate it. I appreciate the ideas. But some of them don't make no damn sense. You said I really want Ashton Genty to fall to you guys. Yeah, I would too, man. I'd love Ashton Genty. That one makes sense. At Moose Lodge, 2427 County Line, Bithlo, Florida. I'll watch later. I got you a new subscriber, a Dolphins fan last night. Thank you, Armand. Armand, I appreciate you, man. And have a cold one down there to Moose Lodge, and tell all the boys down to Moose Lodge salute. I don't like Queen too much. I do. Guys, it was his first year in the system. He was the green dot. He didn't make a tremendous amount of mistakes. I know a lot of people want to pick at him because he was acquired for a good sized contract. He was a guy acquired from Baltimore. You have high hopes for him. But if you break down the whole year and you look at Patrick Queen and you say to yourself, it was year one. It wasn't a disappointment. Could it have been better? Absolutely. But it wasn't a disappointment. Tom Ford, the Steelers don't have a 2nd round draft pick. No, they don't. They have pick. Guys, we'll recap this again. We went over it earlier in the show. The Steelers have picked 21, 83, 121, 162, 224, 230, and 246. The majority of their draft capital lies within rounds 7. 7. They have 3 picks in round 7. Daniel Warman, thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you, man. Where was I? Yeah, Cousins would be perfect for 50-some million a year. Oh, excuse me, guys. I feel bad because I'm a Jet fan. Jets, guys, Kodak, I really feel bad for you guys as Jet fans. You don't have to feel bad for Steelers fans because, honestly, we're good, man, over here. We're good over here. We got rings over here, man. We're not in desperation mode. If you're a Jets fan, you have a franchise that totally mismanages and miss and whiffs on the biggest and most important positions and events that could happen with a football team at the NFL level. You've had guys, so many guys go there on tremendous, exuberant, high guaranteed dollar amount salaries and proved absolutely just fall apart, not be good. And I think you're going to have that with Justin Fields. You're not going to be able to put the team around him that he's going to need in order to succeed. He went there off the sheer fact of money. It wasn't because he was coming there to an organization that he knew was going to be able to be a winner. He took the instant money. He took the instant payday. That's the only reason Justin Fields came there. You're not going to be able to say that as a Jets fan that Justin Fields came there because he thought he had a chance to win a Super Bowl. That's just stupid. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. The Jets are absolutely dog shit. The Jets have historically been dog shit. They were good under Rex Ryan, but they came and got embarrassed in the AFC Championship game in the city of Pittsburgh when I was there, when Wiz Khalifa was doing it up. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, yeah. Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah, I remember that. I remember it well. I was at that game. Wasn't that the last time they were relevant? So don't feel bad for us, Kodak. I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching the show. Hopefully you subscribe, but feel bad for yourselves up there, my friend. I mean, boy, what a disappointment that franchise is. Milroe is a lesser version of Fields. We need a better quarterback than that in Pittsburgh. Absolutely, Robert. I would not touch Jalen Milroe. Scotty Miller signing doesn't make sense. Why? He's a fifth, a guy that sometimes doesn't get a hat. That's what Scotty Miller is. He's a depth piece. I don't know how depth pieces don't make sense. Still life. Tomlin's schemes are equivalent to a 5-year-old mapping out his SpongeBob Lego village. That's a good one, Still life. I like that one. The Steelers need OBJ title guaranteed. Oh, yeah, man. No doubt. OBJ comes in. Things change. Keith Richard, if we trade Pickens, we might get a number 2 pick. I don't know about that. I mean, you could hope for it, but it is what it is. Mike Miller. My dad has some friends that are in Bonita Springs, Florida. They are all Steelers fans. Most of them lives in Pittsburgh, PA. Here goes Steelers. Here we go. Well, tell them to come watch Mike Drops Fucking Sports, Mike Miller. Recruit, motherfucker. Recruit, Mike Miller. Recruit. How are you, Mike? Yeah, we got rings up in here. Tom Ford, I bet Dallas will give their first-round draft pick for GP. They might be stupid enough for something like that. Jerry Jones is a complete idiot. Nah, he came here for fresh air. He was embarrassed playing for you guys on the bench. He just wanted an opportunity. Sure, Kodak, you can lie to yourself all you need, buddy. And that's cool. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. I told you what the truth was. LOL, good roast on the Jets fan. It's just the truth. Rex was geeking out on women's feet all night the night before the game. Ron Rodgers has entered the chat. I've been sub for over 3 months. Always gonna tune in. I love you, man. Whatever you gotta say, I'm interested. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Kodak. I ain't never dogging nobody ever in here. I just try to liven it up a little bit. But I appreciate you, Kodak. Thank you, man. All right, guys. We've been going for over an hour. Pickens is getting traded. Rip. I don't think that's happened yet, but you may be right. Let me check. You never know. We've had many news stories break during the show. Oh, God. George Pickens trade rumors explode after Steelers wide receiver shares video. If it happens, it happens, guys. We'll talk about it if it does. If it does, we'll see what it is. See you guys. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Kodak. Thank you, everybody. James Sports, David. Thank you, anybody that I missed you in the chat. Appreciate you, man. But thank you guys so very, very much. Thank you to all the OGs. Truly appreciate you all. If you're not a member or subscribed to the channel, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for, guys. Get involved in the channel. We truly appreciate it. But until tomorrow, I'm Jason. This is Mike, Drop Sports, and the show Steel City Live. Peace, my friends. See you.